She's considered one of the most prolific Western Desert artists and a woman well ahead of her time. The first major retrospective exhibition of Walpiri artist Napurrula Lorna Fencer is happening in Darwin 5 years after her death. Her style is unique and abstract and centred on her dreaming. I caught up with the curator, Margie West, to talk about its significance.
The show is a major retrospective of the Walpiri desert painter, Walpiri Lorna Fencer Napurrula. She comes from the desert community of Lajamanu, which is in from Katherine in the desert. She was considered to be perhaps one of the most original and experimental artists that came out of that particular school of painting. She was one of these senior women who grew up in her country, which is in the Tanami Desert. So everything she did draws upon her major ancestral story, which is the yam dreaming, which is centred at this amazing rockhole site called Yamapa. And pretty much everything she did was based on the yam dreaming. As you walk through the gallery, you'll see so many images about the bush potato and the pencil yam, which were the two main yams from her country. We're very fortunate in the exhibition to have the very first acrylic painting that Lorna Fencer did, and it was a very conventional Walpiri painting. It's got the classic, central desert imagery, the dots and the circles and the sort of symbols that the artist traditionally used in ceremonial body paint. Over time, she developed her own particular style, which was a form of abstracted figuration. Her works were quite unconventional within that particular style of painting that comes out of the desert traditionally. She used incredibly vibrant colours. In fact, she was an intuitive and very talented colourist, as you can see from her work, and she used to love layering the paint into sort of very thick, luminous layers of pigment. People that knew Lorna always used to describe her as a very positive, very energetic person with a tremendous sense of humour. And I think that's kind of reflected in her art. Her work's very powerful and very energetic, but she also had a lot of personal tragedy in her life, and of her 10 children, only one remains, and so she actually witnessed the passing of practically all of her children. And that had a very deep effect on her too. And one of the paintings in the show, which is incredibly atypical to all the other work that she's done, which is this incredible outburst of grey paint, was painted while she was in Sorry camp grieving for her son. And a lot of people remark on that particular painting because it's so unusual, and it is just like raw energy in a way. You can actually almost sense the fact that she was in a very different emotional space when she painted that work. By about 1995, she was considered, to be one of the most collectible artists in the region. And I guess from that point onwards until her death in 2006, she really started to get a very high profile in the market. But regrettably, she never really achieved the level of national acclaim that a lot of people think she deserved.